Today, I get to interview another young adult member of the congregation. If you didn't see last week's podcast, you will want to hear Britton and Briley's faith story too. But this week, we get to hear what God is doing in the life of Aaron. And not only do we get to hear his story, but soon we will get to partner with him as he joins the international mission work of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. What got you started in doing what you're doing? And introduce yourself as well.
My name is Aaron Wright. I am a recent graduate from KU, and right now I am applying through the LCMS Synod to be the IT specialist at their seminary in the Dominican Republic.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. How in the world did your faith take a big step up from just, I'm somebody who worships to now, I really want to pursue Jesus?
Yeah, I think that first initial step it just starts out with college. I mean, college, going away from Wichita to Lawrence is a step where, it's more about making your faith your own. I feel like a lot of times it's, okay, my parents want me to go to church. I want to hang out with my friends here. And I mean, there's some element of, yes, I want to go to church and I like the worship, whatever. But going to college, you really have the own decision now. You're not you're not living with your parents, most likely. And, so you have that choice on Sundays. Do you want to go to church? You have that choice during the week. Do you join a campus ministry, to those other things? And that's where I think I really made my faith my own. So I really made some good friends by campus ministry that really talked a lot about missions. They were really missions-based. I had friends who went overseas several times, and so I think it's those connections through them as well that I heard a lot about overseas missions. And so my heart for that starts building there, and going into my sophomore year, I really had a desire to go overseas, just somewhere. I wasn't sure exactly, and that led me to eventually going to Honduras, which I've gone to now 3 times, and I think that's where I kind of grew my heart for the Latin American region. I just got to see what it's like to live down there. I had never been out of the States before, and that was a big experience. And talk about culture shock, and that was definitely a good thing. I had friends who had been down there, so I knew a little bit of what was to come. But I think seeing that as well, just in person, rather than pictures of just people telling you, is a big different experience that really impacted me. And so I just got to see what it's like to live down there, what people are going through, the needs they have, both like physically and like financially, but also a lot spiritually. It's one of those things where it's still a technical Christian nation, but when you get down there, you can see there's still a lot of need for Christ and the love that he gives to others. And that's what we're trying to do down there. And so that's kind of where my heart for the Latin American region kind of grew. And so that kind of took me through several years of going down there. And then last summer, my mom was in the Dominican Republic for 3 months as an interim business manager. And that's where she got some connections with people down there. And after she got back, they reached out to me wondering if I had an interest, because being a mom, she's going to talk about me. And I'd taken Spanish in high school and middle school, and so I did that background as well. So it's a combination of those things. They reached out and said, hey, are you interested in maybe doing any of this? And that's kind of how I got first connected with the recruitment office over there at the Synod. So kind of grew from there.
What was the campus ministry that got you at KU, got you going?
Yeah, it's called Christian Challenge. It's technically non-denominational, although it has roots in Baptist. But honestly didn't know that until a couple years in. But it really didn't matter. It's a great group of people that just love Christ and love to worship together and invest in each other's lives, and that's really what kind of drew me in, kept me there.
What kind of things did you do with them?
Yeah, so we had weekly meetings where we would worship together and have someone on staff give a message. And then outside of that, we had weekly Bible studies called life groups where we'd meet together, and I led a couple of those last couple of years, which has been really cool. I think it's cool to see both the difference between being in a life group as someone who's participating, but also one who's also leading it. I think it's also been a little transformative too in that. And then outside of that, I was going to the rec, playing basketball, throwing the frisbee, just doing whatever. There's a lot of other events, it's like to do life with each other outside of those two events as well. And combination of those two things really get to those deep relationships that I really enjoy and really just want to continue to grow in.
Can you describe how your faith matured or grew during that experience?
Yeah, like I said, just beginning in college, that's where it really became my own, but I think that's partially because I knew that it was like a more of a Baptist roots. I think that's where also I started to really investigate. I mean, obviously in confirmation, you look through, the small catechisms and things like that of what like Luther and what Lutherans believe, and so I had that basis. But also, I think being able to look at what other denominations believe and kind of investigate on your own and come to your own conclusions rather than just this is what I was told to believe is really big too. And I think that really affirms my faith in the Lutheran beliefs because of what I read and what I've discussed with other people.
When you were in Honduras, is there one or two experiences that really stand out for your faith or what you experienced in there?
But when you go out to community, like I said, you get to see all these people, you get to see their need, you get to see the joy in their face when you give them some clothing, some toothbrushes, some soap, or whatever it is. It's the fact that they can have so much happiness in those things, and we're unhappy over here because we have a 3-year-old phone or we have 2-year-old clothes. Like, it's just that contrast of that. It's just seeing I said the happiness they have with what they have. They get so much love from their family too. It's something I saw. Just big families that just and just are so happy together. And also just on Sundays we'd go to the community church, and some of the same families are there, and it's getting to see and be in worship with them was also just really cool to see and experience.
So now you have this opportunity to work for the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know exactly, or what is the scope that you will be doing with the Lutheran Church?
Yeah, I said earlier, it'd be a technology specialist for the seminary in Santiago, Dominican Republic, for the seminary there. So I'd be helping both the people who are in person there, who are setting become pastors, or there are some other programs that they're starting up or have started in recent years. There's also some people that are doing stuff online throughout the region that I'd help connect with. So that's a lot of that work there. And I've talked with Pastor Cray, who's the regional director down there, once. And they're also, one thing that I think is really cool is they're wanting to learn or see what they can do with AI, with language models, to help speed up their process of translating documents and books and other things to try and do. Currently, if I remember right, he said they're doing 4 to 6 documents or books a year, and they really want to, at least double or triple that using AI language models to help translate. I think it's a really cool opportunity to be able to do that, because I never really thought about that. How can artificial intelligence be used in this way? But I think it's a really cool opportunity as well to be able to step into that. Apparently, there's a pastor down there who has some experience with artificial intelligence, so it'd be cool to work with him.
So what are your next immediate steps?
Yeah, so right now I'm currently waiting for the board meeting in September, but if the board extends the solemn appointment to me and I accept it, then in a couple weeks after that, in late September, I would go through orientation. That's a 2-week process. First week is online and do some stuff with that, and then the second week is in person in St. Louis. And a lot of that week is they would help me and the other prospective missionaries create a presentation to be able to go out and talk with churches, and just first of get the message out there of what we're doing, and also just be able to maybe support raise a little, because it takes some money to be there. And so at the end of that week there, they set us up with a local church in the area, and that's our first presentation. Then after that, we ourselves have to make connections with 5 churches over the next 5 weeks, and it can be close, it can be far, and that's our goal, is to just go spread the message about what we're doing, and let's get support and get some prayer coming for us, because prayer is so powerful and so important. And of course, my first on the list is here, Ascension. You're my home church, and I'm excited. I've already heard. You've supported me in the past with Honduras, and supported my mom, and so it's always been super encouraging, and just to know that you're always going to be behind me, especially in this moving forward.